Hi guys, and welcome to another experiencing episode in this experiencing series. This is experiencing Laravel Backpack. So probably you heard about Backpack if you're following Laravel news. It's actually a collection of Laravel packages that's built to form a custom admin panel. So it's not actually a CMS, but you can build one for your own, for yourself, if you use this like collection, like series of packages. So let's dive into it. Let's check out the documentation. So you'll be able to see that here we have like multiple packages, and we will start off by installing the Laravel project. So let's do Laravel new backpack so that it runs backpack. And let's see what else do we need here. We need to install the base. And then once that's ready, we'll fire up our Sublime editor to make modifications to our app.php config file. Essentially, this is the pretty much similar approach to what the Laravel framework uses. And by this being open source, you'll see that it has kind of, I don't know, it doesn't have that polished look of commercial packages, I guess. It's a bit different, but still pretty much useful. So let's check out our code base. All right. Sorry, wrong folder. Let's go into Laravel Backpack and then open the Sublime editor. And we want to find config app and then add this to our service providers. And add this to aliases. And then we have to run a couple of commands in terminal, but let's first set up our .env files. So I have one ready. So I'm just gonna override this, and I have my database set over here. So it's just called backpack. So let's run these commands. First, the first command actually deletes Laravel's demo auth controllers. The second one runs artisan, and it publishes config files, language files, and stuff like that. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah, forgot to install the... I wonder if... All right, let's expand this a bit. It's really narrow, but it looks nicer in the transmission screen like this. So let's see, what have we done here? It says fail control error, class backpack base service provider not found. Why not? Did I even save this config file? Not sure. Yeah, I did, but it has some problems. So it's already here. This is the correct project. Hold on a second, did I miss something? Or perhaps I should look at the GitHub repository for this base project. So let's see. I guess it's all the same. This is the correct file. config.app.php, yep. And this is also the same. Not really sure why this is happening, because it worked pretty fine when I first installed it. Yeah, it just breaks. I wonder if I installed the correct package. Yeah, I did. Backpack base. One thing's changed though in the meantime. Like I ran this test before recording or going live like 3 days ago, but yesterday like public beta is announced, so I'm not sure if something happened here, but let's look at the Git repository once again. Yeah, but there were no commits since. Let's see if .env file is actually a correct one. Yeah, it is. Okay, this is really bugging me. Well, not much I can do now, but to restart the process. Let's see if this time it's behaving a bit better. Okay, and I wonder if they propose a different Laravel version, but no. All right. Here's my .dnv, and then let's run this. All right, and then let's make sure that we have the right app file opened. All right, and that we're actually adding this to the providers section. We are. and then add this to the alerts aliases section. And I guess this should be it. Let's repeat this command. And actually, let's make sure that our installation works. Yeah, so far so good. And then let's try this. Yeah, this time it works. God knows what I did different the first time around. And this one published config for notifications feature, and finally just migrate to create some tables. And all right, I have my tables, users, password resets, and migrations created. And now when I go to backpack dev/admin, it asks me to log into my admin panel. So since we have no user created, let's create one. All right, and set a password. Let's use this one. Confirm, register, and I'm logged in. So basically not much going on here. I have my dashboard. I have my admin LTE based. I mean, it's actually built upon Bootstrap 3. It's free admin template that's used to build the backpack for Laravel. So, you know, it's responsive. You can use it on your mobile devices, and it works pretty fine. I mean, it's a really popular choice for building open source free projects. And I can log in, log out. Let's see if our login works. Let's go to admin/login, and if I enter my credentials, I'm logged back in, and that's all great. So the core of the system is actually a CRUD package. So if you go to GitHub repo page, you'll see some detailed instructions on how to install this. And yeah, it's pretty much more of the same. So you use Composer to bring the package in, and then add providers in your app section. Let's add that over here, and aliases go here, and then some more PHPArtisan commands. So we need to publish the Finder assets. That went well. Then we need to publish our CRUD assets. That's done. And finally, we need to publish our written Finder assets. And that's good. And to actually add a link to our side menu, we'll need another step. But yeah, so far nothing much has changed, at least visually. But let's find sidebar, no, sidebar blade. Yeah, that's it. And let's add this item over here. So if you notice, it's using the trans helper function. And right now, if we go to our dashboard, sure enough, we've added a new item in our menu. And when we click it, that goes well, at least. So it seems. We'll deal with this little error in a second, but let's see how can we stay true the translation process that's already in place. So all we need to do is copy one of the existing ones, and file manager, we've added a new string over here, like new key actually, and those language files are stored, hold on, in resources, lang, vendor, backpack, en, and then base. So they're all here. I believe that if you add a new one over here, then it'll be all written the next time you update your CRUD Backpack CRUD installation. But probably it would be safe to copy everything from this vendor folder to the root folder over here. So so to prevent that from happening. So let's see if this still reads our value. Yeah, it does. It still says file manager, even though we've actually used a lang variable over here. So let's do some more setting stuff. If we go to if we want to check out the step number 5, there's a mention of uploads disk, and we do configurations for the disks, virtual disks, and config file system. So let's open that up, and we already have some configured here. So let's just add a new one. And it points to a public path of uploads, but I don't think that we have that folder, so we'll just add it. New folder, uploads. And I think we're good. Let's see if that error is still appearing. No, that's fine. And let's just try and upload something. Let's grab a file. I wonder if there's something in our public folder. All right, let's save this. Save image. That's good, and let's upload that one. So it's a drag and drop interface, and sure enough, it works. The file has been uploaded. You can double click it to view it. You can do basic manipulations with it. This is all due to functionality that's already provided by Elk Finder. Let's make sure that the file went to our uploads folder, and yeah, it did. So it works fine so far. Now let's go back to our documentation page to see what actually this CRUD does. So we've installed it, but how do we use it? So you basically have your field types, your extra fields, and the documentation is pretty lengthy, at least, but there's a helpful example that guides us through creating a single CRUD instance, like tags, and To cut the story short, let's just move to the end. And there's doing it all very fast section, which I really like. I like doing things fast. And to be able to move like really fast, we need to install this Jeffries generator package. So let's do that. Let's do it like this and add the service provider to the app provider, app service provider. And we do that by replacing our empty register method. And I think that would work. And if our process has finished over here, it did. And let's just see if our commands are available for us. Yeah, I guess they are. And now we're ready to run these examples over here. So let's check out the first one. So this one tells a system to do like create migration schema for the tags table, and we're just gonna have name column that's actually a unique string value. And we've done that. So when we run PHPArtisan migrate, it should create that database table for us. Let's refresh. And sure enough, we have the table over here. What's next? Next, we should use PHPArtisan Backpack command. That's a helper that's not yet installed. So there's a section on that package as well. So let's see, that's a generator section over here. So let's install that so that we can move fast. And also add this to providers. And I think that if we do PHPArtisan now, we should have, yeah, we have our backpack commands available. So go back to our CRUD example, end of the page, and here's our next command that we need to put in motion. And this created a controller for us, a model, and a request class, and then we just need to edit our routes file so that we have our route set in place. So if you wanna do this quicker rather than slower, you can copy and paste stuff. And what happens here is that we have a route called dashboard in our admin. It's prefixed with admin in a URL, and it's using a middleware admin that will actually prevent anyone that's not logged in to access any of the routes defined within this group. And that's basically it. So over here we have our tag slug that's pointing towards tag CRUD controller, and let's see if that works. Yeah, it does. So it basically tells us that there are no available items in our table, and that's true. Before moving on, let's just add this to our sidebar so that we don't have to type the URL to like manually every time we want to access this section. Sidebar blade, that's the one. Actually, we should keep it opened so that we don't have to search it anymore. And let's call this a tag. And I think I'm just gonna hard code the tags anchor text over here. And let's see if this works. Yeah, tags is here, it's clickable, file manager, dashboard, and back to tags. So let's add one. I don't know, let's make it like a test tag. And something went wrong. This error I've had like the first time, and it's due to the fact that the date was not set. And no matter what I tried to set it correctly, so this should pass, but it's not passing. And there's some problem with the controller's method that tries to render the field controls in our view by inspecting what's stored in database. Sorry. So we should probably set that manually anyway. So let's look at the controller. So HTTP controllers, no, not that one, and tag CRUD Controller. This is the method that tries to read CRUD fields from the database. So this is one that we want to comment out, and we want to add fields manually. But to be able to do so, we need to do some reading. This is kind of a list of everything that's available to you, like the full API, but you know, it's really a lot and lots to read. And that, you know, my biggest concern is, you know, I don't have time, and I want things to be as straightforward as possible. If I can, you know, just hit one install command and everything magically works, that's like my dream coming true. But okay, you know, there are like colleagues that even prefer to type things this way. I'm all for speed, and I don't, you know, insist on typing, clicking. It's all the same to me. Give me the fastest method that, you know, brings me results. That's basically it. Okay, so let's add our basic field type. And if it's basic, we don't need to actually pass our type value over here, but I should probably leave this as it is and move this over here. And okay, this looks pretty. And the name is, I guess it's name. Yeah, it is. And label is tag name. All right. So let's see if that does the trick. All right. No, we don't want to refresh that way because we've just tag CRUD controller does not exist. Why? Yeah, there's syntax error. Yeah, 2 commas. And adding tag now should be nice and simple. No? Yeah, we have our token missing. And I think that all I need to do is generate a key. And that should do it. Why not? Perhaps I need to refresh this page so that it picks up a new key. Tags, add tag. Oh man, it's not working. Why not? All right, token. Let's see, what am I missing? I'm sure that I'm missing something. All right, let's go back to documentation page, and this fast and simple methods sometimes just don't work if you don't follow through the documentation step by step. So let's look at our model. So our tag model, I actually have two. Supposedly this is the one that I would use for front end, and this is the one that's used for back end. So first of all, we need to have our fillables set. Let's see if this cured the problem. Yeah, this cured the problem, though the item is still not visible. And I think that's due to the fact that the controller has to read the data from the database in order to show it to us. So let's check out the controller, and I think that the set columns should do it. And refresh. Okay, here it is. And it allows you to edit the record, to add a new one, whatever. So you have your pagination set over here, and to test if that's working, we can quickly hook up like a database seed. So or should we? Perhaps not. I mean, it will take me like 5 minutes to set that up, but we're already running a bit late, and there are some more interesting stuff to show you. But you can take my word for it. I've tested, and it creates a pretty nice pagination, and it's still all responsive, and you can find your way around by using your mobile device, that's for sure. Yeah, I guess that there are like little things that you can also set up, like in your base.php config file, you can customize the appearance of who did create this app, and your web page, and show powered by, if you want to, you can hide it, and you can change your skins. So it's handcrafted by Tihomir Opacic, and this is a link to my website. And then skin purple is pretty fine for me, since it's pretty similar to our CMS podcast theme. But if we want to go black, let's go black. Yeah, we're black. So this is pretty much simple config file for your admin panel. But let's look at the power of custom fields. So you have, I think, 33 different custom fields at your disposal. So let's see if that's true. Yeah, 33 plus, but I think that some are still like marked as to do. But let's quickly hook up an image upload. Though, you know, images marked as to do, but I think that file upload is not. Or yeah, I think they call it browse. So let's, you know, just use the same process as we did a second ago. And yep, go to our super fast example and let's use this command and slightly modify this, and we'll call this photos, make migration schema, create photos table, schema name, string unique, but let's just call it perhaps a path. And just run this in terminal. And then I guess it's PHPArtisan migrate. Go and refresh, and our photos table is here. And then we need to add our CRUD components as well. Only we will call these photo, and manually hook this up in our routes PHP and call this photo as well. And then in our sidebar, we want to add another link. That's gonna be photo as well, and photos here. And let's see what happened over here. Let's move this to our first place and photos. CRUD Controller does not exist because yeah, it's still using the wrong thing in routes, so it's not tag, it's photo. But our photo CRUD controller should exist. And let's do the same thing. Don't save. Let's add this to our photo model. So we'll have a fillable path, and also let's run composer dump auto. Oops. And then see if this works. Nope. All right. Yeah, I'm missing the namespace over here. So what I could do actually is set up like a namespace over here and just say, okay, use my admin namespace and don't bother, so that I don't need to bother typing these over here, and I guess this should work right now. And also our tags should continue working, and our dashboard as well, because there's no need to type namespaces. Here it just bloats the number of characters in our file. All right. So the photo resource should be working, but let's check out the photo controller. Yeah, we still don't want this method, and we want to copy this one and adjust it so that we have our browse values, config values over here. And let's tidy this up a bit and don't make the same mistake twice. And our name is not image, it's path, and label, okay, image is fine, and type is browse. And that's fine, but let's just copy another thing from our tag CRUD Controller, and this is set columns so that we can actually see the value that we've entered, and then set this to what? Path. And let's see if this works. Add photo, and we have a nice browse menu over here, and I can select the one that I've already uploaded. And since we don't have a real photo custom field or just field over here, it just shows us the path to that file. So the path is stored in a database over here, and yeah, it's easy to get that once you're outputting the data to your Blade templates. I wonder how hard it is to adjust the browse layout. Browse Blade. I'm just gonna go and edit the files in vendor folder. I don't care. But you shouldn't do this because it'll just overwrite your files once you upload your installation. But let's see if I can get my image to show here instead of this path. All right, so where's our each section? For each field, attributes, attribute value. All right, is this the only one? Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure what's going on here, but or am I actually in the correct Blade template? So let's see if this has like an edit button. No, this is not the one. Browse Blade. Okay, so it's not that easy to find it, but I guess if you read through the documentations, it'll be much easier for you to find the expected functionality. Actually, there's a section on that just here, and It says just create a new blade file in resources views vendor backpack CRUD field. Okay, let's check out that folder if anything's published there. So all right, resources, views, vendor, backpack, base, views, vendor, backpack, CRUD. No, nothing published here. So I guess that's all in the vendor folder of our package. And this is the one, like the browse. Yeah, looks like that. Yeah, I already opened this one. Button. All right, this is too much for me at this point of my experience and knowledge about the backpack system. So since we're nearing like this episode completion, let's just check out what else is there. And clearly we don't have enough time to go through each of these remaining packages, but I can tell you there's a permission manager that you can install, but obviously the documentation in the readme.io is not totally complete, but the one in GitHub looks pretty fine. And yeah, so basically what this permits you or lets you is to set multiple roles and even set detailed permissions for each user. And you should be able to use permissions using this API. So it's using Laravel permissions package. That's in good standing, you know, it's reasonably popular. And then in your blade, you can also use these blade directives to check for user permissions. So it should be useful too. The settings is basically something that will let you add a key value style section of settings in your admin panel. So this should allow you to edit your settings pretty easily, and I think this is pretty easy to install. Though since we're short in time, I think that I would like to show you Page Manager first. But let's just quickly stroll through the remaining packages. So you have your lang file manager, which lets you edit the language files that I've tried to edit in the beginning of this episode, and this should provide you with a graphical user interface to simplify the process. You have your backup manager that'll let you manage your backups in a relatively easy way, so you can back up download and delete backups of your installation using this package. Then you have your log manager, that's also a thing that will allow you to preview, download and delete Laravel log files. It's also a pretty useful thing. And then you have a log manager. It's a pretty rich pack of features you have here. So what's the difference? This also lets you preview, download and delete Laravel log files. I'm not really sure what's the difference. Or am I going insane and trying to show the same thing twice, perhaps? The generators we've installed, and there's a news CRUD and menu CRUD. But let's go back to the page manager to see what's going on in there. So let's install this quickly. And add this to the app PHP file. And what else? Let's publish this. And do artisan migrate. And add this to our sidebar section over here and see what we got. Oops. We have our pages, and if I go to add page, I can either add service or about us page. Let's add about us page, so let's fill it up with some junk data. I have this form filler thing that works only if the names of the input forms are known to him, but for some reason they're not. Let's just do it manually. Still have a couple of minutes left. So the page name, page title, page slug, and then the content, and add. This basically stored the data about the page in our database. Let's refresh, and we have pages, and yeah. So you have a couple of columns already set for you, so that you don't have to recreate everything from scratch using CRUD. And you have your preview here, so when you create your About Us, actually create your About Us page in the front end, then it's easy for you or your clients to preview the changes. You can also try and add like a service. So let's try that quickly. Service, and you have your meta stuff, and then your content, and add, and there you go. You have one template filled out, About Us template filled out, and another that shows services, and also preview, pretty much the same stuff, but this should speed you up some more. And I guess that's basically it. You see you have your extras here stored as JSON string, but it's not using a JSON field type. No, it's just using text. And that's pretty much everything I wanted to show you regarding the Backpack collection of packages. So, what do I think about it? Yeah, like I said, I'm a person that likes it, likes to do programming quick, and I like extensibility, but I like when I don't have to read too much through the documentation and so that something works. With Laravel Backpack, you definitely have like pretty huge number of options at your disposal to build stuff around, but at the same time, you're limited by the time that you need to get to know the system well enough so that you feel comfortable to build any kind of admin panel feature that your client might require. Uh, for instance, if you need a totally custom admin panel page, then yeah, you will have to read through. And if you are already short on time with your project estimation, if you're a fan of estimations and not lucky enough to be in a no estimates group, then you're in trouble. But if you go back and think about Statamic, I guess that you're pretty much in the same situation there, and you would have to create a new what do they call it? I think it's a plugin, so that you can hook up some custom features to your admin panel. So yeah, why pay for something when there's like Backpack? Uh, One reason might be that this backpack provides only backend functionalities and doesn't deal with front end at all. So you have to create your front end from the scratch, which is fine. I like creating my front end from the scratch and not having to be confined or having some constraints imposed by the CMS that I'm using. But I like the features that, for instance, Statamic has. It definitely speeds you up. And what I'd like to have with Backpack is something that they've already mentioned over here is a fast installer. And yeah, I like extensibility and lots of options, but I think that Backpack has too many options. It can be too much. If you can achieve more with little, that's better than if you have like many different things that are essentially pretty similar, but you have to read about each and memorize stuff, which is not favorable. But all in all, the amount of work that went into creating this is, you can only applaud to the guy who created this, and his name is, oh my god, Christian. Yeah, Christian, way to go. I hope that you'll continue developing this project. So I hope to have a chance in using this system sometime to learn more about it. You should definitely check it out and see if it's a good fit for you. Like I said, I always measure the value of a tool by the feeling that I get from using it, and by the leverage that it provides for me. So if it saves me huge amounts of time and it's fun to use, then that's the tool for me. Backpack is on a good route to get there. So I hope it does. That's it for today's show. Follow me next Friday. I'm not sure what's our subject for next Friday, but I'm sure enough gonna let you know on Monday or Tuesday what's my pick. And Go to cms-podcast.com, subscribe to podcast show, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hope to see you next Friday, same place, same time. Take care. Bye.